Welcome to this lesson on the law of sines. The law of sines is a way to find missing sides and angles in an oblique triangle, which means it's not a right triangle. And we're going to be using ratios to do that. So the law of sines says the ratio of A over the sine of A, which means this side over the sine of its corresponding opposite angle, is equal to B over the sine of B and C over the sine of C. So all of those ratios are equal, and we can use that to solve for sides and angles in triangles. So you would use the law of sines when you're given two angles in one side, like these examples below. So this would be angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. And you would use the law of sines to find one of the other sides. Of course, if you wanted to find the third angle, you would just subtract from 180. You can also use the law of sines when you're given two sides and an angle, and you want to either find the third side or one of the other two angles. And this is known as the ambiguous case. And we'll get into why that is in the next video. But for now, let's just look at angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So in the first example, this is angle, angle, side, and we're trying to find a missing side. So I can set up a ratio of a side and an angle that corresponds with each other. So 72 degrees and 9. And I can set up the ratio 9 over the sine of 72 degrees. Just like here, A over the sine of A. And that should be equal to the side that we want to find over the sine of its corresponding angle, its opposite angle. And I can use that proportion and cross multiply and solve for the missing side. So I'm going to cross multiply x times the sine of 72, which is just x sine of 72, and 9 times the sine of 28. I'm going to multiply that in my calculator and get 4.23. And then I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 72. Sine of 72 over the sine of 72, that's 1. So I can just bring down that x. 1 times x is just x. And then I'm going to divide the right-hand side in my calculator. I'm just going to leave that 4.225, that long decimal, in my calculator to get a more accurate answer. And I get about 4.4. Which means this side length here is 4.4 units long. All right, I can do the same thing with number 2. So I'm going to start with these because I'm given both of those. They're corresponding. So 12 over the sine of 71. And that would correspond with x over the sine of this angle here. I don't know that angle, but I can find it by taking 180 and subtracting 71 and 39, and that gives me 70. So x over the sine of 70. And that's degrees, of course. All right, so I'm going to cross multiply here. So x times the sine of 71. And then 12 times the sine of 70 in my calculator. Divide by the sine of 71. That's 1. And that gives me 11.9. So this side here is 11.9. All right, you can pause the video now and complete the practice.